Hello, Nikolai Markovich from Echolake Technologies, echolaketech.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use radio buttons in your app, and I'm going to do so by showing you, I created a quiz here that's going to use radio buttons for the answers. And so let me just jump right in with a quick demo here. So we'll start the quiz, and we've got question number 1, next question, the next question, and then I can also go back to the previous question. I can change the answer. Next question, and then the last question, and then I can show you a score as well. So just a quick demo there to show you how to use the radio buttons. Let's get into the design. The first thing, we'll go to the data structure. And so I've created this custom data type called quiz. And to create custom data types, you just go down here and just type in whatever and then create. I'm not going to actually create that one, but so create quiz. And then over here you see the type is quiz. And then for it, I have a field called number of correct answers. So this is just to keep track of the correct answers that the person is submitting. So again, create a new field, test, and it's a number, just like that. So I do have, you'll see here for test, there's no default value. So what I did here was I put a default value of 0 so that when I go and start adding the correct answers, or I should say incrementing the correct answers, it starts at 0. So that's it from the data structure for quiz. Now the other thing I need to do here is, since it's going to be a quiz for a user, I need to go into the user structure here, the data type here, and I've added quiz, which is of type quiz. So again, to do that, new field, test, and then just scroll down here, get all the different options, and then down there's quiz, just like that. So I'm not going to actually create it because I've already got it in here. So again, quiz of type quiz. And that's it for the data structure. So now every time a user goes and takes a quiz, it's going to be associated to that user. And this is how it gets linked together. Let's go to the design here. All right, so on the design, I've got a couple things going on here. I've got this pop-up, and basically all this pop-up does is if a user's already taken the quiz, we'll keep track of that, and basically this pop-up will say, hey, you've already taken the quiz, so you can't take it again. I've got 4 groups on here, and for this quiz, just for this demo, I've just got 4 questions. And each of the questions is in a group. So with question 1, a simple text field here, text question 1. And this is the radio button. So let me just scroll down here. And inputs, radio buttons right there. So this is all you're going to choose, radio buttons. And I'll give you a quick demo on that. So radio buttons E. And then it comes up with a default value of choice 1. If I could spell here, choice 2, and 3, and 4, and you can see that it keeps adding on. So that's the only thing that I've done for this radio buttons. You can go and do some other things with it. You can add different columns if you wanted to, like that. You know, you can play around with it to whatever your app needs are. But for me, I'm just going to keep it as one column like that. And so these are going to be the answers. And I just went in here. Let me just delete this. And I just went in here and typed in, this is answer 1, this is answer 2, and 3, and 4. So pretty basic for your app. You'll be typing in whatever the answers are. Similarly, for the text here, I just have question 1. Your question is going to be whatever is relevant to your app, simple text field again, and it's all within a group here. And then I have this next question button. And basically I replicate this. Let me go up here for a moment. So that's question 1. I'm going to hide that. Question 2 is very similar. Now for question 2, I still have this next question button, and now I have a previous question button. Similarly for 3. So the nice thing about this is I can go and create one group, and then I could go, so if I go right click, or if you're on a PC or if you're on your Mac, 2 clicks on the pad here, and then I could do copy with workflows like this, and then click paste with workflows. So you want to make sure you get it with the workflows and not just a copy or paste, because that won't copy it with the workflows. So paste with workflows, and then you'll see here, so group question 4 copy, like that, and then you can go in and change this, make sure, just, it's good to keep your labels correct, and so it's just easier to keep track of things. Previous question, so again, back to question 3, in this instance it'd be back to question 4, and then finish quiz. So just a quick demo on that. All right, now let me go and hide this for a moment, and then we've got button start quiz. So let's start in with this workflow here. So what we got is, the first thing we want to do is, so the user comes on, they see the start quiz button, and they click it, and the first thing we need to do is create a new quiz. So it's as simple as data, create a new thing, and the new thing that we are going to be creating is quiz. So we create the quiz. The next thing we need to do is, for that user, we need to go and make a change to the current user. And what we need to do is quiz. If you remember, quiz is of type quiz. So what we want to do is we want to go in and assign this quiz that we created in step 1 to that user. So we have, Bubble is nice about this. It does result of step 1, where we created the quiz in step 1, and it assigns it to quiz here. So now we've got, in the database, when we go through, we'll see that the current user's quiz is of type quiz, and I'm actually going to go show you this. So we've got quiz, so there it is created, and if I go down here to users, I think this was, I don't remember what user this was, I think it was student. So I'm just going to click on that. Yep, and there it is, quiz. Now if I can go over here, and I'm doing a Control C to copy it. I'm just going to cancel out. Now I can go back over to quizzes, and I can do a search for it. And I've only got one entry in there, but this is it. So 8100 is the last digits of it. So unique ID 8100. So there you can see that within the user, it links to this specific quiz that was created. Okay. And back to the workflow. So make change to user. So we've done that. Next thing I want to do is I want to show the group for question 1, and then I want to hide this start button. So basically we click the start button, creates a quiz, it assigns that quiz that we created in step 1 to the user, and then we show the first questions group, and then we hide this button like that. And now let me go over here, group question 1, so next question. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go and show group question 2, and then we're going to hide group question 1. So this step here, you'll see in the other groups, they're very similar. So the next button for group 3 or question 3 is to show question 3, and then hide group 2. Similarly here, so you can see there's a pattern. There's a lot of copy and pasting, and then some quick tweaks to the workflows. I'm going to go back to the design here, and I'm going to hide question 1. There we go. Now group 2. So again, it's basically show the next question and hide the current question, the group. Now if I go to previous question, we've got the workflow here. So all we're doing is we are showing the previous group, and we're hiding the current group. So all these, a lot of these workflow steps, all they're doing for these buttons is they're either hiding the current group and showing the next group for the next question, or they're hiding the current group and showing the previous question. The one thing I do want to show here also is for next question, I do have a conditional here. And basically what I'm doing is I want to prevent the user from not filling in the values here and moving on to the next question. So this kind of forces them to give an answer before they can move on. And so what I've got here is in this conditional, when radio buttons Q2, so that's radio buttons Q2. When the value is empty, then I just go and I change the border outline to red. That's a solid red, and then I make it not clickable. So to do this, it's basically to find another condition. Again, radio button Q2, value, and is empty. That's all I'm doing here. And then I come over here to go and let's see. So border style. I need to pick border style first before Bubble will give me the option to change the border color. So border style, all buttons, and then I select solid. And now I scroll up here. When I go and do this, now it gives me the option of the border. Okay, here we go, border color. And I just change that to red. And then the last thing that I did here was go in, I think it's, where is it? Clickable, right here. This element isn't clickable, so click that to make sure that it isn't clickable. So that's all I've basically done to set up this condition here. So one thing to just remember is if you don't choose a solid on here, so you can see that the option for the colors on the border change, it isn't available. So just be aware of that when you're going through and setting up these conditions, either for your own app, and then you won't get hung up on that. Let's see here. I'm going to go question 3. Question 3, again, it's similar. The workflow, the buttons, again, there's a lot of copying and pasting and making tweaks so that I get the right button names and so forth. Back to question 2, radio button, question 3, and you'll see that for question 4, the change here is that this button here, finish quiz, the previous button works the same as the other ones. So show the previous question, which is question 3, and hide the current question, which is question 4. And then finish quiz. So this is a different workflow. And so for this one here, what we're doing is we are taking the current user's quiz. So current user, and scroll down here, quiz. And then number of correct answers. So again, this was the only data field that we had in quiz, number of correct answers, and equals this quiz, number of correct answers, and then we go to plus, and I have to type in 1. So again, this quiz, number of correct answers, and then plus and 1, and that's it. Now I do have a conditional in here, and this can be a little bit tricky, so this is just something to be aware of. So this conditional is only one conditional. So it's when the radio button, so the radio button Q1, when the value contains, this is answer 1. Now this is answer 1. I typed this in, okay? And with Bubble, it is case sensitive, and the spelling does matter, and spaces and everything. So this is answer 1. I'm going to go back over here to the design, and I'm going to just hide question 4, question 1. So here, this is answer 1, this is answer 2, so on and so forth. Now when I went through and I created this little demo, I just kind of kept it easy. So for question 1, the answer is answer 1. For question 2, the answer is answer 2. For question 3, the answer is answer 3, and so forth. So I just kind of kept it real simple. Now, in your app, you're going to have obviously different answers than these. You're going to have, a sentence or 2 or whatever. What you want to do is when you come over to the workflow here, now this is a critical step. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the value contains, so value contains, all right, So you want to make sure that the value that you type in here is unique for that answer. Okay, so in this one I had to type in, this is answer 1. I could have just typed in 1, because if you come over here, you can see on all of my answers, the unique characteristic of every one of these answers is this number. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So technically I could have gone and just typed in 1 instead of this is answer 1. But I wanted to show you in this demo that what you want to have enough content or character string so that it is going to be unique per answer. But this is a critical step for this only when condition. Now similarly here, so step 2. So we've got basically it's the same thing here, and now this is answer 2. Radio button Q3, and this is answer 3. Radio button Q4, and this is answer 4. Okay, so that's basically it. Again, a lot of copy and pasting here. The next thing that I do is I hide group question 4, and then I show this text field. So I have this text field that is going to show the final score. So if we come over here, this final, your score 75% will show at this point right here. And that is basically it for, let's see, we've got the next question, start quiz, the pop-up text score. So on this score here, so I've got current users, quiz number, correct answers divided by 4. And the reason it's divided by 4 because I have 4 questions, so I want to get into a percent and then format it as percent. Let me just kind of quickly walk you through this here. So you're going to have this insert dynamic data, current user, quiz, number of correct answers, and you're going to get this little more, and you want to do divided by, and it's type in 4 because there's 4 questions. And then you're going to see this little more button here as well. Click on that, and then you want to pick formatted as. You get this pop-up and change it to percent. There we go. And decimal places, you can pick 0 if you want. And that is it. So I'm just going to delete this. Okay, so that's the score. There is one other workflow. So I added this workflow step here. And basically, it's general when page is loaded. That's how I get it. And I have this condition. I'm just going to delete this here. So I have this conditional, or this only when. So when the current user's quiz is not empty. Okay. So this is basically saying that this user, they've already taken a quiz. So if they've already taken a quiz, we're going to execute this workflow here. And if they haven't taken a quiz before, it's going to be empty, so no action will happen. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show this pop-up of the quiz has already been taken, and then I'm going to hide the start quiz button. So basically this will hide this button here, and it's going to show this pop-up. And this prevents a user from taking the quiz over and over again and so forth. I just did this for the demo. In your app, you might allow your users to go and take the quizzes over and over again, and that's fine. You just need to incorporate the correct logic. So that is basically it. And so I'm going to do a refresh here. And since this user has already taken a quiz, I should get this pop-up. And there it is. You've already taken the quiz. Okay, and then it basically blanks out the field. If I go into the data structure here, just going to do a refresh. Okay, and then I just click on this right here, and you can see you get this delete comes up. So do it again. So delete, yes, I'm going to confirm that, got it. All right, and now if I go over here and I do a refresh of the screen, I can start the quiz. So again, if I click on this, got the red box around it, nothing's going to happen. Now I can go back to the first question, I can change it. Next question, and then finish. Score of 75%. And that's basically how you use the radio buttons in your app. And I just use a quick little quiz demo to show you how it would be used in an application. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below and I'll get back to you. If you like this video, I do appreciate the thumbs up. I have upcoming videos, so if you click subscribe to my channel, you will get notified when those videos are available. And I thank you for watching to the end of this video. Thanks.